Welcome to the Real Word.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome you to the 22nd episode of the 4th season of The Real Word. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to everybody that subscribe to our YouTube. That's www.youtube.com/The Real Word TV. That's The Real Word TV on YouTube, one word. You can check out our website, the www.therealwordministriesinc.org. That's The Real Word Ministries Inc.org. We also on SoundCloud, The Real Word TV on SoundCloud. We also on Apple Podcasts, The Real Word TV on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, it's on Apple now?
Yeah, facts. We just got on Apple last week.
Apple now?
Yeah, we just got approved by Apple for the Apple Podcast last week. And we also on Instagram at the Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. That's the Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. But enough about that. Shout out to our guest today. Well, we got two regulars.
Yeah, you know, the family.
La Familia.
La Familia.
Yeah.
Sound like you're about to spit, AJ.
So yeah, shout out to the family for pulling up and showing love. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting the show. Shout out to everybody who's been showing love thus far. So a trending topic right now is the whole Kaepernick situation. For those not familiar, Colin Kaepernick hasn't been in the NFL for 3 years because he started to kneel, and because he started to kneel, a lot of people felt like it was disrespecting veterans. Some people felt that way. Some people felt like it was unpatriotic. But the reason why he was doing it was due to police brutality. During that time, a lot of black
He wasn't
people.
the only one kneeling, too, right?
It wasn't. It was a few people that lost their jobs.
Marshawn Lynch was kneeling, but, you know.
Yeah, I think the other guy that played on his team, too, the defensive back.
Yeah, Reed is his last name.
Yeah.
That's his first name.
The safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, boom. What ended up happening was they called it inclusion, like they included against him.
Collusion.
Oh, yeah, collusion. Thanks.
Yeah, colluded.
So they colluded against him to keep him out of the league, supposedly, and he sued and he won for undisclosed amount. So finally, Jay-Z is now working with the NFL, and some people say so he wouldn't look like a sellout. He basically urged Roger Goodell to give Colin Kaepernick a workout. So he got a workout, I think, before 19 teams?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's supposed to be like 25 teams,
Yeah.
and then I guess they said like an hour before the workout, like he changed the venue because like he thought the NFL was on some funny stuff.
Yeah.
Especially
Really?
Yeah. So he like changed it to like instead of being at the
Falcons.
Falcons facility, like it would have been a private workout, just NFL
They
team
had
show.
to make it more private, like.
And like so Kaepernick was like, you know what? Nah, he said like he wanted to be open up to the media, and he was like, nah, but you could have your own people film it if you want to, and it was like, yeah, nobody else could come and everything like that. So Kaepernick moved it to like a high school like 50 miles away in Georgia, and like only 8 teams ended up like moving also to go see him. The other teams are like, nah, he moved from the venue. No, we're not coming anymore.
Because they don't want the media attention, and mind you, he's not doing anything wrong. He's been. I thought I saw a quote him saying that he's been ready to play since forever. Like,
Yeah.
It's like he's not out of shape.
His thing was he felt like if there wasn't no media attention, his own personal media, then he felt like the NFL could mess up the tapes and try to like edit the tapes and make him look bad.
Yeah, he'll have their own narrative saying like, oh, yeah, he didn't look too good in the thing. He didn't have a technical arm strength. Like they'll control the messages
That's
coming
actually
out.
a smart move.
Yeah.
Though.
But like
they could just be like, all right, we didn't see enough footage. Anything that was a bad pass, they would put a.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, he didn't probably have enough spin or something.
Yeah.
But like, so funny, like Stephen A. Smith, like I feel like he's like one of the worst black people out there. This guy, like
He's a sellout, you think?
like
He's up and down, man.
Yeah,
They've been saying he's been different since his $40 million contract.
I mean,
well,
he
they say he's
has to.
negotiating that, but like he's a double agent at times because I see like with actions like he's always very critical, especially the black athlete. I never see him like praise one or like say, oh, this person's doing the right thing. I never see him critical of the white athlete.
Yeah, he'll praise them in the beginning, and then there'll be a backsmack right after.
Now even with Lamar, like this guy's been bashing him since now, and like even when like Lamar's having a MVP season, he's like, oh, I still gotta wait and see and this, that, and the third, blah blah blah. Well, I bet you as soon as like he was MVP, he won't give that.
Oh, but let him lose in the
definite
playoffs.
props.
Stephen A's gonna be like, I told you.
Yeah, so he was trying to say, oh, Kaepernick messed up because, like they gave you a chance and you had the nerve to switch, basically like.
You saying that Kaepernick messed up?
Yeah, because he had the nerve to try to do things his way and get he has that mindset of like, oh, like a lot of these fans like, oh you can't challenge your boss. If we was in the real world and you challenge your boss, then you would get fired. Like, no, like people go up to their boss all the time and tell like, yo, this is not right and this, that, and third.
That's why it's an HR department.
Yeah, you feel me? Like people act like they don't live in that type of world, or they say, oh well, if you can't talk about this stuff at work, or if your boss tells you this thing, or your boss could just let you go for not liking you. I'm like, no, like what job do you work at? Like a retail store? Like in a real job, they can't just fire you just because they don't like your beliefs. Like there's actually laws for that. Like they
can fight back.
Yeah, they can't fire you for like your race, gender, beliefs, your sexual orientation. Like they
So
can't.
most time they just get you on time and attendance.
Yeah, like
they start
they
picking
try
on
to
you for
find
your
something
time.
else, but like this is blatant. You feel me? And they try to like, oh well, with that. But they try to compare it to regular people. Say, oh,
this is his views though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's clearly what's going on. But
they don't want other people to have views, man.
he gets paid to push that agenda though. Like majority of the time, once your paycheck gets bigger, you gotta pander to a certain group of people because
That's why they say he's been different.
Yeah, it's like you tap dancing for the bread. Like even with the whole real word ministries, there's sometimes we didn't get cut a check because we didn't because our morals and principles did not align with those of the others.
That's real life.
Like what's going on in the media. That's what today in the news that has something to do with that. So like how the LGBT community got an issue with Chick-fil-A, and
why? Wait, what?
Because they're Christian.
Yeah, because they're Christian and they support Christian organizations. Like they donate to them. So and they said that those Christian organizations don't typically support gay views. So
they even beef with Kanye because
he said Chick-fil-A in the song. So they said let's boycott Kanye. And Kanye's like, yo, like I was the first person in rap to be like, yo, don't use that F word around me. And like now all of a sudden because I say Chick-fil-A, but like
gotta stop. The sensitivity gotta stop, right?
But the real thing that happened is that so like Chick-fil-A wanted to open up a new location at an airport. I think it was. I know one of them is in Buffalo, but they couldn't open earlier. But like, it's a new location that they wanted to open recently, and they was like, nah, because Chick-fil-A had a history with the LGBT, like not a good history with the LGBT community, and until like they figured that, so that's why Chick-fil-A came out saying, all right, now they're gonna pull back some of their donations that they do to like certain Christian organizations and only focus on certain organizations that only want to donate to like homeless people and kids or like stuff like that and other certain issues instead of just doing a broad donation to Christian organizations. They're gonna try to find one that work for certain type of like issues and donate to them instead, and then stuff like that to try to appease that community. That way they could continue with their business of opening more Chick-fil-A's and airports and stuff like that. So they kind of like basically going against what they believe for business.
They bend the knee.
Yeah, so that's what's going on.
These guys are outrageous with the sensitivity stuff about that. I don't know why I'm old school. They sound too emotional, man. Because you're not supporting me, I'm gonna try to get you guys out of here.
Like you try to go in your pockets. Like I think it was like the other week.
Let black people do that.
Yeah, like just like the article came out.
We wish black people could have that power.
That's
it's crazy because like if you think if black people had that type of power and say like, oh, this organization had a history of disrespecting black people, like,
oh my god,
they would cancel. Like, like how much organizations will have to like, because like the main thing they do say like, oh, well, if you want to get on our good side, then you got to make a big donation to us. And like, if we were strong arming people like that to get big donations,
I want to
be a bunch of millionaires and billionaires.
I want to.
Like, this organization, I used to mess with people that did something. Even if you like do business with somebody that did something bad or that did not like gay people, but you don't like gay people, you still have the issue with gay people, like, and they'll try to press you for stuff like that, and like, so I mean they're very organized, like they definitely stick together and they act as one unit because I don't know who's the
captain,
of the community, but like it's like they move as one, and then
one thing they said that a gay white man in America is still a white man in America, so that's the one that's leading the force.
A gay white man in America is the white man in America?
And who runs America? A white man.
I actually Googled that and they gave me like a 15-page article to read. I was like, damn, they don't want me to really know who owns America. Like,
You know, it's so funny. What Kanye said on that album, Jesus, that like people so controversial on that song, New Slaves. He's like, yo, they throwing contracts at me. You know that N-words can't read. Like, so basically, like, you know, like people like. It's that stereotype that black people, they're not gonna read that. Like, just put it in front of them and tell them, like, yo, this is what's important. You're gonna get this money. Don't worry about everything else. Or you're gonna get this.
Tell them the highlights.
Like, you spend a bunch
and
of
sign here.
They're talking bad about that album. In my opinion, it was a good album. In my opinion,
Jesus or the new one?
no, the new one.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it was kind of short, but I felt like it was a feel-good album. Like, you could play it on a bad
Soulful.
day, and then it makes you feel good. Like, that's how I feel. And even what he's doing, like, he was recently at Joel Osteen big church and singing. He went to the jails. He went to the women's jail and men's jail, and he was singing. You see inmates crying and stuff like that. Like,
He's
really
touching souls, you know?
Yeah, like, he's really pushing the movement.
Now the funny thing about that is, like, yeah, he's doing all that good stuff. It's gonna go unnoticed. Nobody's not gonna kid. They're just gonna wait for the next headline if you say something crazy.
Yeah, they just want him to make a mistake so they could talk about it.
And mind you, it's like you can do more than people that's not doing anything. It's Barack Obama actually said that recently. He said nowadays it's like fake social justice, like, because people will look and say, "Oh, something's wrong," and I said it's wrong. Oh, I did my part. And Obama's like, yeah, like that's what's going on nowadays. People feel like that's them, you know, doing their side of social justice.
Like, I see it.
It's like, oh, I see it. You're doing it, and I'm just chastising you. So that means I'm making it better. Like, no, like, what are you actually doing to make it better? You
Actions,
actually,
rather
like,
than words.
are you doing to help the people that's actually being oppressed or belittled? So, no. So I think so. Like, that's what Obama was saying. Like, this is the type of generation that we in now.
Listen,
So.
Have you guys seen the social justice in China? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of protests going on in China, and these guys are shutting down like colleges.
Yo, you think the LGBT community got impact? The Chinese got impact. So I was watching a video, and like it was giving me the history of it, of like because it said like the NBA worked mad hard to build a business with China because China got billions of people, so there's money and like and like
that's why they keep trying to go over there.
yeah, and the biggest sport that China watches in the world is like is the NBA. Like, they watch the NBA, so like that's why every year the NBA sends.
Why is that?
Yo,
Because Yao Ming.
Yeah, it started with Yao Ming.
Stephon Marbury went over there. He became a king over there. Like, they got statues all over China.
Stephon?
Yeah.
So what the NBA try to do, like they try to send stars every year just to go visit and do press runs. Like they'll be on the Great Wall of China and just walk around. But they said like it really started because like Bill Clinton earlier in the 90s or late 80s was like, yo, we're gonna open up trades with China because like hopefully that'll influence their culture and their politics if they start trading with us and stuff. But it really had the reverse effect. It had the reverse effect because like
they're trade wars right now.
Exactly, because like basically now China has the power of like, oh, you're not gonna do what we want to do. Okay, we're not gonna do business.
Making this for you.
No, we're not gonna do business with you. So like once that happens and that shuts off, like,
things get way more expensive.
So like after that dude Maury, the GM for the Rockets, said what he said about China, saying like, oh, I just stand. Oh, I want freedom for China. I stand with freedom. He didn't say nothing crazy, but like once they heard that, China was like, yo, they went to the NBA like, yo, take that down, and then they took it down. Like, you know what? That wasn't even enough. Apologize. and then so like the guys like, I'm not gonna apologize. The NBA, but they made James. It's mad where they made James Harden apologize for it. So James Harden, what he was.
I honestly think just because the Rockets have that Chinese jersey, like that.
And Yao Ming used to play for the team.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But they were showing like the statistics. So they have like their own streaming service, and like they were showing like the people in the U.S. that watch the NBA versus the people in China on their streaming service that watch the NBA. Okay. And the chart was crazy. I'm like, so. It
was that much because they have more weight than people.
Exactly. So like people were scrambling like, oh, and then China was like, yo, we're not broadcasting no more NBA games over here in China. Like we were done with the NBA. It's over.
The NBA about to buy a knee.
Yeah, that's why the NBA like the mad players started saying like, nah, this like we gotta fix this. The NBA itself was like saying like, oh no, like, oh, that don't reflect our views. Like they was trying to like scramble around to save to save the whole operation and everything. And China was like, because China they acted quickly like, you know what, we're not messing with you no more. And then like and they just started conforming to whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy. I'm like, yo, that like China really got that power to influence a whole organization and country like that. I'm like,
country.
But the whole purpose, because even LeBron has something to say about the situation about freedom, because the whole thing that's going on in China that a lot of people don't know, there's concentration camps in China right now. There's people getting killed in China right now because of their religion, and it's mostly Christians and Muslims that's getting killed, and they're doing a lot of organ harvesting too. Like the people that they put in concentration camps, like they killing them and taking their organs and selling it, like doing all kind of crazy stuff.
and like over there, they control the media, they control what you can search or watch and stuff like that. So a lot of people just protested for like their freedom, and so like, and then LeBron's like one of the ambassadors for the NBA. So even he was like saying like, yeah, like you know, more
They need some help.
Yeah, like so like anybody that, but like of course when you're working for a company that does direct business with them, you know, it's like damn.
They're gonna tell you to apologize. They're
There's
gonna be
this-
like, yo, you're messing with the money.
Yeah.
Don't mess with their money. They got billions over there, billions.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm like, yo, that's wild.
They have some technology where there's cameras everywhere. So everywhere you walk on the street, it picks up your face and they can watch you.
So that's where
24
that shit
hours.
started from
Yeah.
all those CIA movies, and they'll be like, "Doo-doo," detective.
And then now they have, you see how we got credit scores now that judges us based on what we can buy. Even that's a form of slavery in America. But now
That
they
is.
have a reputation credit in China where
That's
it's
like
like,
the same thing.
yeah, but it's on your person. It depends on
But that's
if
the type of classism right there.
if you rebel against any of their laws or do things that they don't like, your credit score in your life goes down. It goes down more and more and more.
So it's not just about how you spend money over there. It's just
They won't let you do a
use.
lot of stuff. A lot like your kids can't go to school. You can't buy certain stuff. They got
because of
all
your
that.
reputation.
Because of your reputation, you can't get certain jobs.
You might as
You
well
can't
leave.
buy certain cars. Like, and that's what they do. Like, they going like people had churches. They went into the churches, burnt it down, took it over, put the pastors in
They are
jail,
forcing their
and all of that.
beliefs.
Like
They're forcing their beliefs.
on the channel that this show is on, shout out to the Brick Network. There's a show on the Brick Network. It just won the award for best show, and it plays the like Christian thing and shows you people in China. It's like, this is what's going on in China right now. We just want to pray and thank God and believe in God, but we getting killed and this and that for it, and no one's doing anything. And if you think about it, someone said that Martha Stewart, Martin Luther King, and Anne Frank was all around the same age. Like, they was all the same age at one time. So you gotta look at all that stuff was happening at the same time. It was racism going on in America, and then Martha Stewart was alive, and so was Anne Frank. So they were all alive around the same time. So
They
the
all
whole
was seeing the same thing. They grouped together. They were
Yes.
just doing. They started movements.
slavery was only 250 years ago. Like, that's like what, only 2.5 grandpas ago. Like, you gotta look at it that way. America's just now starting to change.
Civil rights movement just what ended like in the 60s.
Our parents was alive at that time, bro.
Right. There's still
'Cause I was
people
born in
alive
the
now.
80s.
Yeah, there's some people alive now from that time. Kim was doing a book where she's asking, like, she's going to those mental centers and asking the elderly people their stories and what made them them. And there's a
Oh,
lot
that'd
of
be
people.
dope.
There's a lot of people like that's like 104 just telling their stories about the past and how they went through slavery and how they just, they seen it all. They seen in the changes. I didn't get to look into those stories, but that's actually true. We could go to the old people and ask them what they seen.
But it all starts with the elders. But our biggest issue is that most of our elders, as in men, were either locked up or strung out on coke.
Who you telling, man?
And most of us were raised by women. And when I say us, I'm talking about the African American individuals that were from America, whose parents is quote unquote from down south.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like, I know a girl personally. She lives in a project apartment with her mother, and her daughter. So that's 3 generations: child, mother, and grandmother, all in the
in a
same
tiny
project apartment,
space. Yeah.
passed down from generation to generation. And they said projects is the black concentration
Concentration
camps. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And what y'all think of that?
I feel that's true because, in a sense of like in imagery, every plant needs a space to grow in a sense of to fully develop. And if they keep us all squeezed together, there's only so many of us that could fully grow and fully develop. Some of us even have to kind of fight for space in a sense that we're battling each other. And I feel like we need we need space, but our 40 acres, bro, we need some space to grow.
So do you guys think that blacks should get reparations for everything that went on?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
definitely.
yeah. I'm still waiting for
We
our
gotta be able-
payback. They still owe us.
Yeah, I definitely think they should give like some type of reparation. Now, give them access to a way to get wealth. Like some people, you can't just give money to. But like if they get like something that's like gonna give them access to like
Silly Negro.
F that. F
like
that.
some type of land or like stock or like something that's gonna give them like keep giving you money for
Sure.
generations, like something like that.
I think land or housing should be the first thing.
Mhm.
Like because they gave the whites it. After like the VA loans were subsidized loans that benefited white men when they came from the army. You put 0% down and you could buy a house if you had a VA loan. If you were a veteran. At the time, blacks weren't allowed to even fight in the army until way after. Because during the Civil War, blacks didn't fight in the army. Well, some blacks did fight, but not officially. Even in the other wars America went to, until later, blacks were like cooks and barbers and stuff like that.
Every major war.
Put us in the fields in the sense of like farmers.
So what y'all think though? Like how would the blacks get paid? That's the biggest question. How would the blacks get paid? Or in which way would they get paid?
That's a good question to
I
ask.
would be fair and say they should give it to the minorities in the sense of everyone should get a certain dollar amount in the sense like start like a project, a trust for paying back the blacks or the minorities, and whatever that dollar amount, split it between everyone in the sense of, the stupid dudes that got money, they're going to waste it, whatever. They're going to give it to somebody else. But the smart people can actually do something with that, buy more land or invest. I feel like a lot of reasons why we can't catch up is because we don't got no money to start and we don't got no land to start. Give us one of them.
Exactly.
And I think we can make a difference. We don't got no money to start, so we're busy playing catch up in the credit department, borrowing money just to give it back, instead of having money and starting something
We
with
should
it.
give us something like either banks or housing.
Facts.
the
We only
money.
have one bank in
Like I
New
told you,
York.
something that contributes to us as a society to help us build our wealth. Because if we had our banks, then we could get like our money into our community and they'll stay in our community
Yes.
and like help us build wealth within the community. Because people was preaching that, but definitely, and like everybody nowadays want to start some type of business up, so they could go to our banks and try to get those loans and or keep their money there so they
Yeah.
generate interest there and stuff like that. Just stuff.
Well, when you
Definitely
say
money
that-
would help too.
When you say that, that's my dream, bro, to have a bank one day, a black-owned bank.
So they said that the banks is basically like a table, like it loans out money and it holds your money, but most of the time it's just loaning out money all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it makes money is just on the interest.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they make money. They said for a certain amount, if you go to a bank and try to cash out, they won't be able to give you it in cash. They're gonna give you a cashier's check.
Yeah, check first. So
Yeah,
it's, that
because-
way they keep it all digital in the sense of transfers and everything.
A lot of money that they get, they
Reinvest,
reinvest it
Yeah.
into stuff and they just put it somewhere else. That's how they
But
get
that's
their
why we
money.
need like a black one in the sense of, let us reinvest in ourselves. That way we just keep growing and growing and growing instead of, giving money to another bank that's reinvesting in their people.
Y'all ever saw the Killer Mike show on Netflix?
Watch the first episode when I think he was just trying to eat just food from black owned
Yeah.
places.
It was bad.
And he's like, and I think he only had to use black owned stuff too. I think so. He had to like use a bicycle to get everywhere and stuff like that.
He couldn't even smoke weed because all the weed is grown by white people.
Like this,
Smoke Mexican
like this
weed.
black owned cannabis and like that.
Shoot, now that I think about it, you're right. They ain't, how would we even survive if it was just black owned thing?
Yeah,
I'd
like-
be in peppers every day, bro. Like
He finally gets something good. Like he finally got something good to eat when he went to like an older black woman's house that was like that was making soul food from back in the day, and then she made him with like
She's probably around
he's
there
like,
with
he's like,
civil
oh,
rights.
he's like, thank God, like I wasn't eating nothing all day.
Yeah.
Like it was mad hard.
But in the later episodes, he brings all the people from all the previous episodes. And he's like, I'm tired of America. I'm about to start my own nation. I'm gonna call it New Africa. So then he goes and he buys a farm in Atlanta. And then he has a house. He's like, yo, this is New Africa. We don't gotta deal with none of the stuff that America got dealing with. and he's like, yo, this is the only way that black people is really gonna be able to make it. Inclusion is not working.
It's
Inclusion is us.
That's why I was always down for
Everyone
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Always down for Malcolm X.
Inclusion did not work. It's because inclusion didn't work because we was never on the equal playing.
We never got our 40 acres, bro.
It was never equal.
How are we supposed to fight back if we don't got no resources? We can't eat without y'all. We can't work without y'all. That's crazy.
Yeah. We've always been a nation within a nation. Even the nation of Islam or the nations of God and earth. Those other dudes, the nation of Moors, like those are all the people that claim to be sovereign nations, but they still live on the grounds of America. Like they might have their own land, but at the same time,
we need to have
they
our
still
own nation right
in
now.
America.
We need that because I feel like going back to Africa, bro, and like pretty much strapping up. Like, I feel like we're at too much of a disadvantage. Like, and now, you know, they got this whole gentrification thing, and I'm watching my people pretty much get shoved out. Like, it's not just make-believe. They're really like, you can't afford to be here. Get out of here. We're building buildings for our people, our movement. And it's like, we can't even build buildings because we don't have enough funds individually. Then we got to gather all together. So we got to get a bunch of people on the same page to get one building, and we're still playing catch up.
Boy, they building skyscrapers in Brooklyn now with hawks flying over the top, bro.
It's funny, like before, back in the day when they used to do that, like say, like black people start moving to the white communities, then white flight happens.
Yeah.
But then they go to somewhere, and then like, you know, of course the property values supposed to go up. It's supposed to be like a cycle of like wherever the white people go, black people go to where it used to be. But I'm like looking like, yo, so where's the place these black people used to be?
We can't go.
Where's
We
it-
can't go to Manhattan.
Where they supposed to like live? Like where they all coming from?
I think now it's like South Jersey,
Yeah, they try to
Pennsylvania,
push people to Jersey
Connecticut.
now.
Yeah, like even the government is pushing people to Jersey now. To like Newark, East Orange, Irvington, the hood. Like that's
Not
the
even the,
hood.
like the popping places in Jersey, the hood places. The places where, you know, you could just go to, it takes you 2 hours to go to work in New York.
It takes you 1 hour to get shot.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the battle rapper from Jersey? He was in his car and they just shot him. He had to drive himself to the hospital.
I didn't know that.
See, that's-
Yeah.
He had to drive himself.
Yeah, because no one was really stopping. And then one guy stopped. He was like, "Yo, I've been shot. I forgot which one is it. I think it's Sue Surf. It's Sue Surf,
the battle rapper.
Yeah, the dark skin one
He was
from Jersey.
TSU. Oh,
Yeah, he crip.
oh,
Yeah, like
he was still battle rapping.
yeah, they still battle. Yo, battle rapping got crazy, bro. like they'll get all up in your face and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll f your moms. Oh, f your dead
Yeah,
aunt."
they
Like
take-
I'm
Like, it's like a big show now. Like they
I'm like, yo,
your
they're
face
wild.
and
They probably acting now.
And they all gang members now, and they all shoot each other after the battle raps, like, or jump each other, or snatch each other.
The whole thing was supposed to be about skill, man.
Yeah, no, it's not like that no
Nah,
more.
That's just
It's about
entertainment.
who can just handle the pressure and not mess up their lines from rap. Because of course they memorized everything ahead of
Yeah.
time.
Or who could not snuff the other guy for coming all up in his face, because they do that too.
Yeah, they push it as far as they want you to. They like, yo, you gonna break? You gonna break? You gonna break?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't, dog. Man.
So what do you guys think about this whole impeachment thing? Like they've been pushing that hard. Trump keeps saying that they're not gonna find nothing and that they're just embarrassing themselves. And he's been saying this for a while. Like you guys are not gonna do anything. You guys are just embarrassing yourselves and wasting your time. And so far, like he got away with a lot. Like every single time they came after him, he just brushed it off. But do you think they're gonna catch him this time or not?
I mean, I think by the time the process is
It'll
done,
be
like
over. Yeah, he's gonna be out of office by
yeah,
then.
4 years gonna be up unless he gets reelected.
Oh,
And then
please no.
But you can't impeach a sitting president.
that's what I'm saying. So like, I mean, this is something there for them to even get this far into hearings and everything. Because if it wasn't that much, they wouldn't even get to the hearings.
True.
But he's definitely trying to hide everything. He keeps saying, "Nah, y'all can't get these records for financials."
He's
and
not
all."
gonna give him up. So
You know, it's funny. I bet he's the same person too that was probably saying like when everybody could say, "Oh, you was good." Obama's birth certificate. He's probably one of the first people like, "Yeah, he's
Yeah,
trying
find
to
it.
he
He
was
was.
trying to hide that." Oh, that means something like, and you know, he's hiding things for himself too.
that sucks.
We still don't know how much money he has. He probably has a lot of money, but he has more money everywhere, like all around the world.
Yeah, that's what rich people do. They hide their money so they don't get taxed.
But the thing is, I don't feel like it's ever just one person that makes, that has, in a sense of that money comes from like a group of people. He probably has like everyone backing him, so he just holds the money. He's like a bank in a sense.
Yeah.
He just holds the money.
Probably the people that's defending him.
Yeah.
So they can make sure like
He probably just holds all the money. That gives him a face because he's rich
or
now.
he's connected to those offshore bank people.
But
Yeah.
the United States is a company. Think of any company. Every company has a president, an assistant president, then they have a secretary.
It's a business.
Instead of a board of directors, they call it your cabinet. And then,
And one
it's
of the-
really like a business.
One of the things they sell the best is the dream, man.
But the thing you gotta realize, above every business, there's shareholders. So who's the shareholders in America? Because it's the shareholders that's really running the company.
True.
Mhm.
True.
Because they make you think that you're the shareholder because you got to vote.
Or
But
the board or
remember, your
something.
vote don't really count.
Yeah, or like the
You're
board
voting
that.
for a smaller scale, like smaller position. It's like when you're at work and they're like, "Yeah, who wants pizza? Take a vote." But
Mhm.
major decisions is really made by, like you said, the shareholders.
hmm Yeah, that's exactly what I've been learning in school. Like exactly how the government works in the business, like how they determine where the money's going, like how they determine like which
Which brings
program is gonna get some money, which program is not gonna get some money, like
what brings back money. Everything's
Yeah.
about what brings
and
back.
like every year, like they know they got debt, so it's just like, all right, let's just determine how much money we're gonna use to just throw some money at the debt that they plan on never fully paying back, which is crazy too.
I was thinking about that debt shit.
Yeah.
We back up the debt with our Social Security numbers. Our Social Security numbers is the numbers that they attach to us to attach to debt. So we working that off for the rest of our lives. How we pay off that debt? Something called taxes.
You're right.
And they go
They,
up every
they're
year.
just slowly collecting from us.
It's so funny too, because they said like at the rate we are in this country now, people not even have enough money to retire. Like you said, like even now, like the average person, they said like more than half the people in the country don't even have like I think like $5,000 saved in the bank, like which is crazy to even think about. But like a lot of people,
Because they keep making us spend.
like I see
Everything
it.
got mad expensive.
Yeah, I see people just saying like, you know what, I'm just gonna just work till I die. Like pretty much, that's what a lot of people just got to resort to doing because like what the 401k thing is not gonna be enough. Like you gotta be saving and have like some type of pension
You know
plus
how easy
another
this shit is?
income.
I
It's forcing you to work longer and longer so you can actually try to retire.
And their way of helping you out is giving you like tobacco, cigarettes, whatever to calm you down. And then they like, you got anxiety. You're causing it. Like
Even life insurance. Life insurance is not really for the rest of your life. It's for like up until the age of 80, 85. That's as much time as they give you. If you make it, then
they're
you're
like,
on your own,
damn, he
buddy.
made it
Yeah,
this
you gotta
long, bro.
renew
You
it.
eat it. You weren't eating
Yo,
American
like, that's
food.
another scam too because like when you're young and healthy, they don't want to give it to you because you're young and healthy. They want so it's gonna probably cost more. They want you to get to the age where like, all right, you're a little older, you probably start developing issues. All right, it's gonna make it a little cheaper, and then it'll be like, oh, you want the 25-year one, you want the 50-year one, you want this one that lasts for like however long, and like so like I'm betting on myself for 25 years, I guess. Like
Yeah,
if something
pretty
happens,
much.
and you just renew it.
I gotta just hope for the best.
And I'm paying every month for that. I'm like, that's a good come up if you just want to just get, you feel me?
Not for you.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Or if you fake your death and just get the bread.
which that,
I
and
know.
like, and
I'm
all
about to
insurance,
drop an album and fake my death out there, man.
these,
Like,
these
go
insurance
platinum.
companies, like, all of them, like, they go mad hard because they don't want to pay out. Like I used to talk to this one girl, like, she worked for, I think it was State Farm. It was like one of these State Farm or Geico. It was like but she was a claim adjuster and like for them like they really send investigators out to see if you really got into a car accident and whose fault it was, if the person is dead, like getting the death certificate and everything like that, and like and they gotta do like they get like they have clients, of course, people get into car accidents and they die, and they gotta investigate that and like see even they give the bread out. Like they be like, all right, we're just gonna cut you this amount, and the people like, oh really? Like, and they get tight, or like they try to sue them. They be like, listen, you try to sue us, we're gonna lock you up in litigation for mad long.
And
you're
you're gonna be so busy fighting, you're not even gonna want to continue this.
Exactly, you might as well get this check because of course then there's the greedy lawyers that like every greedy
Just
lawyer.
Just get it.
Yeah, like
Take the settlement.
like every time you get injured on the job or in the car, the lawyer be like, yo, you get mad. Like, they try to gas you up crazy. Oh, you can get millions of
That's
dollars.
what happened
millions
to
of
my mom.
Yeah.
They
And
take 1/3 of the price.
Yeah, but
One-third
it's
is so much.
but it's never that much. But it's never even that much. like you're never gonna get that much money. So they always tell you like, yo, like, so it's like them trying to get you to settle for less, but the lawyer trying to get you to go for the maximum.
Yeah,
thing,
but then they just start slowly being like, nah, this is as much as they're gonna give us. Let's take it. I take
Yeah.
my 1/3.
I think it depends on the lawyer, because I think some lawyers, if they thirsty, they want you to take that first settlement. They're not trying to go to trial for nothing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, those are like the realistic ones. I'm like, nah, I just want the money. All right, yeah, let's go.
Mind you, like I understand there's like scammers and everything, but like my mom got into the accident. They really was like they was taking pictures of her, being like, oh, you just went to Grenada and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, damn, like I can't even be hurt in peace.
Yeah,
like,
the insurance company like they don't want to pay. Like it's crazy because it's like yo, what am I paying you for? Like as far as they're like
yo, this
they
is
don't-
your
they don't wanna
job.
give it
Like
away.
I told you, I'm hurt. Now it's time to pay. Why you investigating me? Like
You know what I found out recently? Because years ago I was in a car accident. I was a passenger, as a matter of fact, and I sued the insurance company. And then years later, I went to try to get insurance from that same insurance company.
They rejected you.
And the price is mad high. It was like, give me your history. Yo, they quoted me and my wife mad high.
There was like Rickard, Jean-Noel. Oh, we know that. Yo, it's how to pay us back.
hey yo, here's even the way they scam now too. So say if you were a driver, and like say if you live with your mom and everything like
They
that.
add all of them to your
Yeah, they're like, oh, you have to add your mom to your insurance, even though it's not your mom's car and you don't want your mom to drive it. I'm like, yo, my mom not gonna drive my car. Like, they're
Does
like,
she have a license?
yeah. And mind you, so they try to do that, and my sister don't have a license. I'm like, yo, she don't have a license. Oh, but you're supposed to add just in case she drive. I'm like, how will she drive? She doesn't have a license, but you know, if she might get a license. I'm like, yo, what do you?
She might. When she get a license, she'll be added.
Like,
Like,
oh, just in case somebody take your car without you knowing. I'm like, okay, I could see that maybe happen, but the chances of that happening, especially if I say I just live with somebody that doesn't have a license, like that's not gonna happen. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, oh no, but we still have to do it. So now,
she's not a child. She ain't gonna kidnap my car. Like,
basically, what you gotta do now is lie, like, nah, I live by myself. And unless they try to do a background, like, nah, but I see on the internet that this address got all the view.
And if
There
you're
you
married,
go.
they automatically add your spouse too on your insurance. And your spouse driving a record and yours count together. So if your spouse had tickets, you got tickets.
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so they be wilding.
It's all a money game, you know.
The game's gotten crazy, bro. Everything got expensive, bro. Every single thing you could
So I'm
think
saying,
of.
even if we got the money for reparations, like unless they accounting for inflation and everything else, like that money gonna disappear. Like they gotta give us something that's gonna last.
About to
Somebody
get
said it would be
most of Miami.
$2.5 trillion to pay everybody.
I think they got it. Money is printed.
They got it, but it doesn't mean nothing.
I think they can hold us down.
Because every year, what they do, they burn money to make sure there's not too much dollars out there in circulation.
Yeah.
Because their business is still running in the same way, like, you know.
Because look at it this way, right? And I always think about it this way. You see how they give people refund checks, and then 1 or 2 days the people spend the whole check, that same check that they waited the whole year for, and it's like I give you a check and you pay me right back. It's like when Walmart gave us $250, where we spend that $250 at
Right
Walmart.
back at Walmart. So they
So
don't
it's
really
like-
It basically
care.
store credit.
Yeah.
Like, yo, here,
So it's like, so it's like
They're
you know,
investing in themselves.
and they
pretty
still
much.
write it off for taxes at the end of the day. So they spent nothing. So if they give us 2.5 trillion, where are we gonna put it? And their banks? We don't got banks to hold that much. And we don't even trust the next black man because he might steal something. We already know how these Negroes do.
Exactly. We don't got our own banks.
I'm gonna behave on that one. Can't even trust your own people sometimes, you know.
Yeah, like I be seeing all the time on Facebook, like, yo, if you have a friend that you don't want to see ever again, but loan them $20. I'm like, for $20 you throw away your whole friendship with somebody, like because you just end up disappearing and never hear from somebody again. I'm like,
That's why
It's happened to us.
yeah.
I think we need a bank for real.
I was thinking we need to.
Our own society.
Oh man, it's because we don't have one leader. I think that's what it is. Like at least one leader that we trust. That okay, we're gonna trust in this person. He's gonna hold it down.
And if we start to see somebody becoming a leader, I feel like they get attacked. So we gotta We gotta be ready to protect that leader. Because they coming.
Oh man, I was watching something like it was mad profound, like how they attack people and destroy them. Like, man, it's like they say it's like the 3Ds, but like one of them was like they try to discredit you, and that's definitely one of the things they always try to do to make you look bad. Like they try to discredit you. But I thought and the last one is definitely like destroy you. But like, oh man, I thought. As soon as I find out, I'm gonna send to you guys. But like, that's definitely what they try to do.
Probably detain you. I feel like they try to arrest them too. If they don't discredit you and destroy your reputation, then they put you in the box and give you something to have a negative reputation. If that doesn't work, then they just come after you.
It's simple. First, they put you in a desperate situation. Then they try to see you by throwing a damsel in distress.
Oh, the ladies.
And then you have a sex scandal, and then everyone deserts you. Then once you alone, you start to go crazy in isolation, and then they just take over.
Because you was trying to do things for a good cause. You just got caught up.
You know what I read today, bro? I read that the CIA gave South African intelligence the location of Nelson Mandela to arrest him. I'm like, damn, like they're dirty for that.
They really playing a different chess game.
Yeah. And Mandela was the only black leader in South Africa. He was the only one that could stop what was going on and that could help them. And
they gave him the address.
They got him
right here.
Which means America gave them the address.
America playing with China just makes me think that you're right. They are kind of like they're just sneakier than China with their whole concentration camps.
Even those other countries that they help, like in wars and stuff, that's so they could just install whoever they want in power. That's gonna align with the same.
Whoever's gonna work with them,
and then
to run their master plan.
Yeah. That's why even in Haiti, our country, they send that guy, some guy who used to dance and dance in his underwear. Timac, I think his name is, or Sweet Mickey. Like they made him president out of the blue, like over White Clef, and I'm like, that's weird to me. Like this the same guy that used to dance naked and do weird stuff. Like he's the president,
I'm
but
actually
America
getting
was
upset. They're
backing him.
making our people entertainment. Like we look honestly, if you look at it from like, I hate to put it in like an animal's perspective, some people are actually acting like they belong in the circus. Like they acting crazy. Like,
have you ever seen now hiring for clowns? You've never seen that in your life because there's enough clowns out here.
Mic drop.
A lot of people, especially people that's on TV, that they just did for the entertainment. You got people that dance, or these people that just loud, and that's where like that the dude Stephen A. Smith was coming from. Like I feel like he just plays to that caricature
persona.
That caricature now. Like I'm just gonna be that loud, like just like to scream over the person I'm arguing with, because whoever gets the loudest
like, that's
wins.
Easy. I can entertain people like that too. Like, but I don't want to look like a fool.
The other dude you used to make him look crazy all the time, Skip Bayless.
Oh, because Skip was always professional.
Yeah,
I don't see why that's the Skip. You're crazy. Like he's acting like a clown. Like I don't understand it. Like
Skip put him on though. Skip put him on.
Yeah, but that's because I feel like there's a hidden game going on where Skip knows that this guy is just entertainment.
Yeah.
He's gonna pretty much bring down his people because he's not gonna sound professional, which is calm. I don't know of any real kings out there that be dancing. The king usually watches the dancers.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, whenever he gets quiet and starts speaking softly with the big words, that's when he's like going on this whole tangent,
emotional rant,
coming at somebody.
Yeah, it's like an emotional rant where it's just quiet, but he's just like, I just don't get it.
Like, you had your opportunity to go play for the NFL and get this workout.
You could have made a difference. You could have made a difference.
Mind you, it's crazy. They try to make him sign a waiver, like Kaepernick sign a waiver saying, "Oh yeah, you can't sue us if you for whatever, if you don't get hired after this workout."
Wow.
And stuff like that. Like, and he's trying to say like, "Oh, I heard it's a standard waiver." I'm like how do you know? But like, if somebody wants to sign something like that, then how they wrong? Like,
if they want, that says a lot about them right there. Like, you are asking me to not sue you, so you already have the intentions or the mindset that
you want to do something.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get like how somebody like Stephen A. or even Damian Woody could sit up there and try to defend Like
They snitching on themselves.
Yeah, but it's just those people that no matter what, they always back up the business over the individual.
Because the business pays them. You know that they can't be like, a lot of people can't be like Kaepernick and just drop the job, you know?
But he was rich already.
But that's exactly. So in the sense of he had the advantage of being rich already that allowed him to drop it.
That's the illusion. Like a lot of people feeling sorry for him because he lost his job. Like he's broke. This dude's not broke.
That's why he's still doing well. Like,
He's rich. Like
That's,
multi-millionaire.
but that's
bro.
also what allows them to take these chances, because like somebody that was broken wanted just want a chance, they wouldn't end up be like, all right, I'm gonna change the venue. All right, yo, I'm saying this like, yo, I've been here.
On his own receivers too.
Yeah, exactly. Their own thing, like exactly, and people be low key jealous of that. Like they're like, oh, yo, damn, with the real world, you can't do that. You can't do. I'm like,
yeah, you're right, because we had a damn disadvantage.
Exactly.
We didn't get our 40
and,
acres.
and like people really get mad, like at somebody that does things in a free way. Like if it wasn't for those people that had free minds or of ways that's beyond what your reality is, because reality is just what you're stuck in. It's not what it really actually is. Like
Facts. You can create something out of your mind.
yeah, like, and actually do it just because.
Half the things we use is created out of somebody's mind.
Yeah, but like leave to these people, we never be able to progress as people.
They don't want us to think we can. And, you know, I think black people are some of the most creative people in the sense of like we could tolerate more, we have better art imagery, and they just want us to just stick in the entertainment business. I feel like we don't really need, I feel like if, let's be honest, I feel like if all the black people got together, had our own side and started our own businesses, they would be coming to us. And that's what they don't want.
But the issue is like black people don't stick together. That's why every time it's time for every time that happens with the collective bargaining agreement, where every 10 years, where like the players and the owners gotta come back to the table and come with a new CBA,
Yeah.
and they got and then say a lockout happens and everything like that. Like look how fast the NFL lockouts over.
That was interesting.
Because the black players never stick together, even though like the players association tell them like, yo, save your money. That way, like when the lockout comes, like you don't gotta worry about it. Like if you really want to get things, especially for the future NFL players that come in, they thought it's like, I don't care about the future NFL players. I care about what's going on right now. Like I need to get my money now. I care about what's going on now.
Let's
like,
be honest, some of them don't. It sucks, but most of us don't really got education and finances. So, especially these football players, if they spending most of their week playing football, they're not learning that much. They may learn enough to pass a class.
And it's all about self-interest too,
Yeah.
because like think about it. For us to get what we had now, somebody in the past had to fight for us, knowing that they're not going to get it, but you know,
right.
my kids and my kids' kids going to get it.
You're right.
These players, like, they're not thinking like, oh,
They're
all right,
not thinking about the future.
I'm doing this for like the next generation of players. Like, you know, that's not on their mind. Like, that's how a lot of people are too right now, especially in the community. They're not thinking about like, yo, I got to do this for like the next upcoming generation of black kids. Like,
But the thing is, most of them are coming from poverty and low-income neighborhoods, and when they go into the NFL, they have all these baby mothers, they have all this drama, they got all these people, and they run through their money very fast, you know?
Responsibility, because another thing is, no fathers,
Yeah.
no strength,
But then, even on top of that, they get upset at football players when they retire early. Like,
Oh,
like a
Calvin
lot
Johnson.
of them.
Calvin Johnson was,
Yeah.
it hurt the heart, though.
Even Grunk, when Grunk retired early,
Mhm.
there was another guy that retired early to go become a Rhodes Scholar. Another guy,
the black dude.
another guy left to become a brain doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a few of them.
And Andrew Luck, but that's because he got beat up a lot though.
Because in their minds, they just want us to be entertainers, man. God forbid if Kevin Durant retired, Stephen A would blow his fucking head off.
All you do is just come at him.
Exactly. Who would he have to talk about? He'll be sad.
He used to come at KD so much, KD mom had to step in. Like,
Like, leave him alone.
that's real life. Like, it's like, what I do to you? Like,
that's what he does. Like, he just attacks people. Like
LeBron, KD.
Yeah, like the people do something great. Like he doesn't acknowledge it. He just was like, I just gotta wait till you like messing up or you doing something that's not.
If he does acknowledge it, he'll just be like, you're supposed to do that.
He's a high-paid hater.
Yeah, but I know he used to be kind of like a high-grade hater.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When now he claims that he's grown and everything, but like it's funny because like that actor Lakeith Stanfield, so he's the black dude. Like, I think he's a pretty good actor, young guy, up and coming, everything. Like he's on Atlanta. He was in Get Out, like the guy in the beginning.
Okay.
That got kidnapped, and then like he's the black dude that he took his brain and he was like screaming for him to get out and everything.
Yeah.
So he put on social media like Breakfast Club, Shade Room, lip service, whatever other stuff. He's like these like platforms don't support black people or they're damaging to the black culture, and like which would be true because like a lot of those things just show black people doing the worst stuff, or they only talk about
entertainment, man.
Entertainment news. They don't talk most of the time.
Yeah.
So so Charlamagne felt some type of way and like gave him donkey today just because of that, and like not because he did like a real donkey move or anything like that, just because he mentioned that the Breakfast Club. He's like, oh, Breakfast Club is not for the black culture. Oh, what do you mean? I have a book called Black Privilege. What book you know? Like because he does do stuff where he shows support black people, but they also do things where of course
your main focus is not to support black people.
Yeah, like they do a lot of things that's in the detriment to the black community too. And stuff like that, but it's just entertainment stuff. But like that's
I don't care how many one steps you take forward if you're taking 2 steps back right after.
Yeah, just last month they had Stephen A on the Breakfast Club, and they didn't challenge this dude on nothing. They didn't ask him no question, nothing.
And Stephen A should be a perfect target.
Yeah, there's some black people that come on the Breakfast Club and they'll just like troll them, like Charlamagne will be disrespectful,
making
like
jokes.
Wale, but Wale got at them.
Yeah, like Wale, the force Whitaker came on. He got the eye issue, so Charlamagne just kept trying to come at this dude eye the whole time, like so how you get that eye? Like what happened? Like you ever see? Like can you see me from this side?
Like that's the main topic.
Yeah, he violated them, but like so other black you you never try that with, so they just know who to pick and choose their targets, which is a lot of people in the media do. Yeah, it's crazy.
And education's a big thing too, man. We gotta have our own schools, our own banks. We gotta really start with the major things that run America.
Yeah. School's the worst part because the company that published the school books was the same people that was connected to like racist people, to like Nazis and stuff. And think about it, almost everything that you learn in school, most of it are either lies or things that you don't use in life.
Yeah, ain't that a fact?
The only reason why you go there is because
space.
You go there for the piece of paper that's gonna let you do the next step.
And the next step is what they want you to do in a sense of now you got to go to our next school.
Yeah, it's like J. Cole said, I'm gonna play your game. I'm gonna go to your schools. I'm gonna pass your class. I'm gonna sleep with your daughters.
Oh, yo, can we play that to him? That's America.
Really, those are your 2 options. You either do what we say or do whatever you want, and you're by yourself.
And if you're by yourself, then they know you can't last long. Because nobody could do it by themselves, man. If you're going against an army, you need an army. That's it.
So we don't have any armies. All of our armies was disbanded.
Yeah, and
because they're saying too, like especially with the black colleges, like a lot of kids don't be going to them a lot because it's not as popping as it was at one point in time. Or
that degree don't look as nice if it comes from there.
Don't seem as prestige, or like say like especially athletes don't go there because the teams are usually not the best.
The football teams, basketball teams.
Yeah, but they were saying like it's all those star black athletes that go to these big schools just go to the HSBCU.
But that would require everyone to be on the same wave.
Exactly, and blacks don't support each other. That's just what it is. They just started supporting black colleges this year with the black billionaire that paid off all those kids.
Yeah.
College tuition. Then Oprah made a donation. Then a lot of people started making donations. But before, they didn't even care about black colleges. They said that some guy said that he went before the NCAA. He told them, let's start a NCAA, but for like black colleges, for HSBs, for historical black colleges, and they said no, like they wouldn't put it on TV because the only thing that really makes the money is if they put it on TV and it
where
goes to
millions.
Exactly, then they start
TV
getting
deals.
endorsement deals and stuff like that. And just like the NCAA now in California is allowing like players to make more money while playing sports. And finally,
and that's because it was becoming too hot. Everyone was getting on to that. Like,
the NCAA is mad fake for that too, because they first saw that they tried like, oh, since California gonna do that, then all these schools gonna be banned. Now all of a sudden NCAA changed, like, okay, now all students can make money off their likeness now.
An empty threat. They can't afford not to be open.
the NCAA and the NFL are non-profit organizations. A lot of people don't realize that.
See, that's what we need to start having, our own non-profit organization.
We do have
I mean, more We gotta know about more, man.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, man. And those dumb fans that actually think that, yo, they're private business, they can do whatever. I'm like, no, just because you a private business, not private, don't mean you still don't have to follow the same rules as another company that's not. Like, it's still rules you gotta follow.
They just do it in a shady way. Like the NFL, the teams are privately owned, but the NFL as the entity is a non-profit organization. So the individual teams, like they're the ones that own everything else, but the NFL is the one that governs the whole thing with the commissioner and everyone else. But the commissioner is making millions. Like his salary is what, like 30
What does he
million or something
really
like that?
do?
He just punish the players, and then like he's like the public face to take all the hits for the owners.
Kind of like a president.
Yeah, it's like, that's it.
That's all he is. He's just the one who takes the hits.
Roger Goodell's network. Oh yeah, and by the way, Colin Kaepernick's net worth was $20 million. So by no means is he broke. Oh, okay, his contract is $200 million.
Who, Roger?
Yeah.
I think it's at
Mm,
one point
that
maybe
run-
like 65 a year. 65
Yeah.
million, yeah, at one point or 30 million. I think it was like 30 million a year.
That runs till 2023. So
See, this
he's a
don't make sense
commissioner
to
of
me.
a non-profit organization.
Making
That's
200 mil. With probably like an $83 million mansion that he probably don't even sleep in most of the time. Who knows?
He makes $40 million a year. He makes more than some football players.
And he
Than a
don't
lot of
play.
football players.
And he don't play. He don't get hurt. I don't even know. Do people even come at him? Because I feel like most of the time, Sports Center, all these places, they don't talk about the commissioner. They talk about the players.
That's the problem, especially with a lot of these, the media and the fans. Like it's like because like the players are the most visible parts of the teams. Like
They're the faces, pretty much.
mind you, like the owner owns the team, but they'll never get mad at the owner for charging them all that money. But they'll get mad at the players for making millions of dollars, but not the owner for being a billionaire, charging them all that money and stuff like that, or like making the city raise taxes to help pay for stadiums and stuff like that. Like they won't get mad at that, but like because like the player got their
Let
name.
a player speak out about
Mhm.
something.
But that's what
How dare you speak? Like
Yeah.
that's how they feel.
Exactly. It's like you should be lucky or like gracious that you got this job. Like
You play for the NFL,
Yep.
the NBA. You should be blessed. Like that's what they want you to feel. Like
Yeah, like because you playing the game. Like it's like but you do know like only like a handful of people can play this game. Like if anybody can do it, like you do it. You can't.
you want us to play at a high level.
That's why you paid for it.
Yeah.
So to watch them do it because you can't do it.
To watch grown men break each other's bones and scramble their brains.
Pretty
Yep.
much.
Literally.
Like what's it called? Rome, man, the Colosseum. Like the
Exactly.
kings just sit there and watch as people entertain them while battling each other.
Yeah, it's
'Cause-
gladiator sport.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Football, basketball, they all gladiator sports because they require extreme ability, strength, and constant focus and training.
Speaking of that, LeBron dunked on that dude, on the tall white dude. He looked at him like, he was like, yeah.
Even that is entertainment, even though it's good. You know, I enjoy to see the entertainment.
Yo, Braun, that like
He looked at him.
got rejuvenated. You know what? One thing I was thinking. So remember how Mark Jackson got fired
Mm-hmm.
as the head coach, and then Steve Kerr took his team, and it was like, oh yeah, we
Never
could be-
getting over that.
Well, so but like it's funny how the whole time they was trying to say, oh, Steve Kerr was like a great
great
coach,
coach.
and I'm like, okay, so like he literally only lost two players because I don't count KD because he only really lost
wasn't
two.
there.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be a great coach. All you did was down 2 stars, and you can't salvage the season. Like they're supposed to show how good of a coach you are. On the other side, we got Mike Tomlin. He lost AB, Bell, Ben Roethlisberger.
NFL.
Still, and mind you, people trying to call for this
Even
guy.
when Mike Tomlin was winning, it didn't feel like it was a black win. They didn't make it.
Yeah, they kept coming at his neck.
African coach won.
And they finally gave him his respect because he still got a winning record. But like Steve Kerr, like what's their record now? Like 2 and what or 3 and what?
I think they're still 2.
Yeah, like, it's crazy. I'm like,
9 was last I checked, but they probably lower now.
they should never be this bad because even though they lost what Clay and Curry,
In fact, what
they
were
got
saying-
D'Lo.
They don't have D'Lo just got hurt, but what they have, they don't have. It don't look like they have good plays. Which is proof, because I mean, let's be honest, they had Curry,
Yeah, Curry was
Steph.
and
I mean, like, come on, Steph was shooting.
the
with
play
people's
was like,
hands
yo,
in his face.
yeah, pick and rolls or shoot
Yeah.
when you get the open.
Klay Thompson was shooting with hands in his face. It's not like they were, being coached like Popovich.
Yeah, or like when KD was there, it's like, yo, just give KD the ball, let KD do KD things.
Like Popovich had Tony Parker, and even though Tony Parker was efficient and nice, but in a sense, if he wasn't no super athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the Spurs, it was more like different parts that made it to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had Tony Parker to move the ball around. You had Ginobili on the outside. You had Tim Duncan in the middle that could hit that base shot every single time. And then you always had that one man in the bottom. And then you had a secret weapon on the bench, Robert Horry. I just came off the bench, shot threes, won championships.
Even later on, it was on Patrick Mills, or what is I think?
Yeah.
Mills, point guard.
But all those players wouldn't be considered like superstars.
Exactly. None of them would be considered a superstar.
But like he did a good job building the team
pieces
and the bench. Like one of the biggest strengths for the Warriors was their bench, especially. But like I guess
that declined over the years.
Yeah, and he never restocked. Which you supposed to be a good coach, a good GM. Like that's why they gave you the job.
They don't even talk about the GM. And right now, the results is of the GM. All your draft picks, your bench. Yeah. This is when they supposed to put something together. It look like y'all don't even have a chance sometimes.
But I don't hear no criticism for this dude and the excuses. Well, he doesn't have Curry. I'm like, listen, you're supposed to be a coach. And you still got Draymond. You still got, you feel me?
You still have pieces.
Yeah,
Draymond. Even when he did have Curry, Draymond, and D'Lo, and they were still getting punched.
Exactly. It's the NBA. Like you can still salvage a good 40, 50, like 40 wins. I don't know about no 50, but like around 40 wins.
Unless you're the Knicks.
The Knicks trying to like sabotage their head coach.
They got rid of their players.
Speaking of the Knicks, Melo finally got a job
at
Portland.
Too long. Like I don't know what's going on, man. Like I almost had to buy NBA Live 2005 again or something.
I think he has a bad reputation.
For no reason, cause
for being lazy most of the time.
Yeah, but he was on a terrible team.
The biggest thing they keep saying, they like, "Oh, he doesn't play defense." I'm like, how much people in the NBA play defense? But
James Harden.
Yeah, but then they try to say, "Oh, well, it's his style's offense now. He has to play ISO offense. Like now he has to play ISO offense. Oh, come on now." So I'm like,
they're just making it up. Convenience.
So
just talking a whole bunch of rubble.
You would have thought he killed somebody or had a lawsuit pending. Like they was not trying to pick him up.
They forgive those guys.
Yeah, if you beat a girl, it's cool.
They forgive you,
Well, we're not saying it's cool. We're saying that, like pro sports is cool if it.
They forgive you, not us. Yeah, I feel like the movement got to be, raising kings and queens, man. And not in no old school type of sense, but just in the respect of, treat each other like, royalty. That way we could keep rising above, the image of us being clowns and entertainment or rude, all this nonsense. If we just, behave like we're royalty, they can't force us to behave any other way.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. That would be my closing.
What's your closing thoughts, AJ?
Definitely, don't get influenced by the media or anybody else. Always do your own research. Try to figure out things for yourself. Get that knowledge so you can build that wealth. Don't let nobody box you in. Don't let nobody tell you things that you can or can't do. What's right, what's wrong. Always second guess and always try to figure things out. Stay blessed.
Yeah. We thank you all for watching tonight. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to everyone that subscribed to our YouTube. I think we over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Finally, we cracked 1,000 on YouTube.
Good job.
Shout out to everybody that's listening. Finally, we cracked 1,000. Yeah, and shout out to everybody that's subscribing to the SoundCloud. Shout out to everybody subscribing to the Apple Podcast.
We on Apple?
Yeah. And shout out to everybody that follows on Instagram at The Real Word Ministries, Inc. And check out our websites. Drive some traffic to our website, www.therealwordministriesinc.org. That's therealwordministriesinc.org. Let's close out with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful show. Thank you for bringing us as brothers together. Help us to all to grow together as we achieve this goal as one. In the name of Yahshua, the Son, I pray. To the Holy Father, Amen.
Amen. Shout out to BK Lit House.